Hello my friends, and welcome to another video with Brian the Speaker for the Dead. So I just finished watching, because I'm sitting here and I'm waiting to be able to drive, thanks to the US government holding me hostage to an hour clock. I had time on my hands to actually stop and watch Nuremberg. Now I'd recently got to watch the film about the creation of the atom bomb. Which was Oppenheimer. Now, I think this is in a similar vein. I think there's maybe dubious reasons why they came out with this film when they have. But I have to say, it was a really good movie. If you like historical dramas, if you like great acting performances and an interesting film, I mean, this is a good film to go watch. I rented it through Apple because I was watching it on my iPad, but you can get it probably anywhere. I don't know that this film did really well in the theater. They were probably looking to do something similar to Oppenheimer with it. There isn't probably quite as much. You're dealing with a much shorter period of time. I think this movie would have been helped a lot had they shown a lot more of the events that led up to the end of the war. Maybe got into some of that just a little bit without getting too heavy. But this is really kind of a courtroom, mental gymnastics kind of a film. So if you like to be entertained, you like kind of a psychological twist to the film, you'll like Nuremberg. Basically, it's about the Nuremberg trials. And I could say this is going to be a spoiler-free review, but if you know anything about history, this movie's already spoiled. You know what happens in the end. Now, if you're not, now I'm not going to give a lot of spoilers here because those of you who don't read history or whatever, or don't ever pay attention in history class, then you're going to be surprised by some of the stuff that happens in here. But I don't want to get real deep into the weeds. I just want to say, great performances by Rami Malek, which I like Rami Malek. Most things he does well. And I enjoy his portrayal of characters. I think he was fantastic in Bohemian Rhapsody as Freddie Mercury. So he was great. I just lost the main actors. The guy that plays Heinrich Himmler, Russell Crowe. They're the two main leads in this. There's another guy who's in quite a bit of stuff, and I like him, but I don't know his name very well. So you can go look it up. But they all give tremendous performances. Everybody in this film does a really great job. There's a lot of personal conflict and intrigue between the characters, but it's not too heavy on that, if you know what I mean. It doesn't get bogged down in everybody's personal crap, which some films like this tend to do. They tend to get a little bit too up their own butt. This film never seems to do that. The pacing is good. The storytelling is good. The art style is good. The switching back and forth between the camera styles of kind of now to the camera styles of the 30s and 40s, trying to recreate shots from historical document. I mean, they really did do that really well, and the attention to detail was really interesting. Now, I don't know enough about the Nuremberg trials to say that this was a slam dunk, absolutely historically correct. It's Hollywood, so I'm sure that there's some license taken there and that they left parts out and stuff. I think this film has been made now when it has been because Orange Man bad, because every single lefty communist psycho in the United States and around the world hates Donald Trump, and they all spend every moment of every day screaming about how he's the next Hitler, despite the fact that he shares nothing in common with Hitler. I watched a little bit of some interviews with Russell Crowe and stuff like that, and it was really interesting to get inside the mind of Heinrich Himmler and to see kind of the backstory and the different parts of him now, because I think that that's probably the message that I got from the movie, and it's the most important part of the movie, is that as monstrous as these people were, they're still human beings. That they had people they loved, they had people they cared about, they did what they... The really interesting thing is nobody ever thinks of themselves as the villain. Everybody convinces themselves, I mean, very few. I'm sure there's some people out there that revel in their evil, revel in the destruction, revel in wickedness. But I didn't ever get the feeling, as you're watching this film, that's... I don't think Hitler thought he was the villain. I don't think Himmler thought he was the villain. I don't think... I don't think any of them thought they were the villain. I think they thought they were doing what they had to do, doing what was necessary and needful in their own minds. And I mean, you look inside yourself, and that's the really scary part. And the part that I hope people get from this film is that if you think you can't be like this, if you think you're nothing like the Nazis, the people who became Nazis, you're probably more susceptible to it than anybody else, because you're not looking at yourself carefully enough. Only the most absolutely perfect, peaceful, most noble, giving, caring, wonderful person could look at themselves and say, I see nothing of myself in those people. All these people who are like, oh, Trump's a Nazi and he's a terrible person. We should kill him. We should do whatever we have to. I mean, I've heard Democrats talk about camps, putting people in camps. Re-education. Hillary Clinton floated that idea that we need to re-educate these people. Well, that's how that rhetoric started in Germany. With people thinking they're better than somebody else and that they need to put them in groups to fix them. And it's so funny that as horrific as the Nazis were and horrific as what they did is, there's a piece of that in all of us. That if you're not careful, you can go down that road. You can end up doing something just as heinous for reasons you think are different. So there was a bit, I don't know who did it. It was a comedy sketch of this person that showed up, went through time back and was going to kill Hitler. And it's this liberal person. It might have been Babylon Bee. I'm not sure. But they like show up at Hitler and they're pointing a flare gun at him. And they sit there and they are sitting there arguing with Hitler about what they want to do versus what Hitler did. And it's so funny because they're like some of the same arguments that liberals, and I mean, I'm sure conservatives have done some of this in the same thing. Nobody, like I said, nobody's innocent of having obscure bad thoughts for whatever reason. I'll admit, I've had those kind of thoughts where, well, if murder wasn't illegal, I mean, it just, because there's those emotions that get the better of you in those heated times when somebody does something really horrible to you and you feel like it'd be justified, but you look back on it later and you're like, oh, wow, crazy moment, right? And if you have never had that moment where you were so mad that you thought something really horrible, well, good on you. You're the 0.000% of humanity. Because everybody's had that fleeting moment of doing something really awful. And the only thing that stopped them was whatever part of their character that prevented them. And we should all be very grateful that we have those little bits of decency, honor, whatever you want to call it, in us. So that's what I took away from this film is constant vigilance. Making sure that we remember that if we don't watch for this, it can all happen all again. It just takes the right spark. But it isn't going to be Donald Trump. It isn't going to be... It's never what these people claim it's going to be. And that's why it gets... And that's why it happens. That's why it rises, because nobody's watching it. Nobody's paying attention. And that's when we're in danger. Is when we stop paying attention. We stop watching. We think it can't happen. And then it does. But don't be fooled. Donald Trump is not Hitler. He's not going to put people in camps. Nothing of that is ever going to happen. But I find the suspect timing of this film coming out just that, suspect. I hope you guys will go and give this film a watch. I thought it was great. Thought it was really good. If you want movies that have explosions and blah 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 all the time, and you're a Marvel, you're not gonna like this movie, because it actually takes thought, and consideration, and paying attention to dialogue, and being, I don't know, conscious to actually enjoy this film. So I hope those of you who are in that category go watch this and let me know what you think. If you've already seen this film, give me your feedback. I would love to hear what you guys think. And until next time, I am Brian, the Speaker for the Dead. Talk to you again.